Hello and a very good morning to you from the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield for the morning session of the 2013 Betfair World Snooker Championship. Already we've lost some big names. John Higgins has gone, Mark Williams and Mark Allen. Later today we'll see Judd Trump in action for the first time. This morning though, it's all eyes on China's Ding Junhui.
I began snooker with my father. I'm my hometown Yixing. It's 2 tables in downstairs. I'm not get interested in the first few times, so I try later, and I feel I like it, so just keep playing. Sometimes I need to just hitting balls and just put balls in, knock balls in the pocket. That's all funny things I do. So I feel it. Feels great, so that's what I start feeling. When I was young, before 12, I think when I put in balls, I feel it's great. That's the most interesting for me. And after that, I got long training a day, so every day it's like about 8-9 hours. I think I still love the matches and still love to play. Every time every frames I get chance, I get excited, and just from the first pot I get. So the problems coming, I can fix it. I can make the frames easy. I can clear up. I just need one chance. So that's what I think. No one frames the same. So every time I make the centuries, make any maximum. That's all funny. Sometimes the people think then he cannot do. So I can think I can do that, and I did it. So that's good.
Well, today Ding takes on Scotland's Alan McManus, who came through the qualifiers. In fact, just had a chat with him backstage. He's looking very, very relaxed. Alan is making his 17th Crucible appearance. On table 1, it's Wales's Matthew Stevens, world number 12. He's taking on Marco Fu. The players are ready, so let's join our MC. Good morning, Rob Walker.
Thanks, Jason. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. There's an Asian assault on the Betfair World Snooker Championship today as 2 of the region's finest players aim to lift the illustrious trophy for the very first time, but there are 2 proud Celts about to stand in their way. Please welcome, first of all, a true gentleman of the modern game. Semi-finalist back in 2006. He's had such a good season, he's once again on the verge of a return to the world's top 16. He made the German Masters final earlier this year. From Hong Kong, Marco Fu. And his opponent, a player making his 14th appearance here at the Crucible. He has a superb record in Sheffield, 6 times a semi-finalist, twice a runner-up. Winner of the Masters and the UK Championship, the Welsh Dragon, Matthew Stevens. And here on table number 2, please welcome a player who rolled back the clock at the qualifiers to make his first Crucible appearance for 7 years. One of his 3 wins to get here was a 9-hour epic, even longer than Dot Ebden. Twice a semi-finalist here in the early 90s, from Scotland, Alan the Angles McManus. And his opponent, the leading light of Chinese snooker in recent years, a double UK champion who also won the PTC Grand Final in Ireland last month. He's a player with an affinity with Yorkshire, having made his home here in Sheffield for almost a decade. Ding Junhui.
Well, you will notice that Ding Junhui and Marco Fu have both decided not to walk onto any music here at the Crucible as a mark of respect to the 188 people who've lost their lives in the earthquake in the Sichuan province, China, continuing a massive rescue operation there. So, it's Ding v McManus here on BBC Two. If you want Stevens v Fu, it's online. A very good morning to Dennis Taylor and Stephen Hendry.
A very good morning to you, Jason, and Ding Junhui prepares to break off, and that's his first shot in this year's World Championship, and it looks as if he's going to get a snooker, not intending to get up behind the green. You're always looking to get the white as near to the cushion as possible, but he'll take that. Great reception for Ding as he entered the Crucible Theatre, and a great reception for Alan McManus. Great to see him back, Stephen.
Yeah, and an early chance to live up to his nickname, Angles McManus, and he got it wrong.
Yeah, that's his nickname, Angles McManus, because of his prowess at getting out of snooker and judging the angles, but as you say, he didn't judge that one too well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Alan plays. As I say, a long time since we've seen him here at the Crucible.
A little bit tighter.
Semi-finalist here in the past.
Okay.
Was one of the top players in the game for many years.
Probably one of his best victories. He ended your unbelievable run in the Masters. I think it was 5 Masters in a row you won, and Alan was the first man to beat you there.
Yeah, beat me in the final 9-8. It's a great match. Had many great tussles with Alan. Quite even our record, actually. Also interesting to see how Ding's going to perform. In my view, one of the major contenders for this championship. He'll be hoping to rectify what happened last year, losing in the first round.
Yeah, there's always a lot of pressure on Ding's shoulders. I mean, he is a superstar in China. I had the great pleasure of being there a couple of years ago in Hainan and went out with him and his sponsors, and, well, every shop, every restaurant emptied to come out into the street just to get a look at Ding. That's how popular he is in China. And he's pretty popular in Sheffield, where he's been living for the past 10 years. And his mum's a great character, isn't she, Stephen?
Yeah, both his parents are lovely. They don't speak any English, but they're nice people. And his mum, she cooks for all the Chinese guys that are in the academy. Some lovely local Chinese food.
Well, you mentioned your tussles with Alan McManus, Stephen, and throughout the 90s he was always in the top 8. He was there for many, many years. Very tough competitor and great all-round game. But like you, it's going to be fascinating to see how he handles being back at the Crucible after so long. It looked as if he was going to get a favourable kiss on the yellow, but not quite. I mean, if he rolls to the yellow, he's got the snooker behind the brown, but not a lot of value in that. It'd be easy for Allen just to come off a cushion and land in the bunch.
It'd be a fair attacking shot, but I think the yellow's got a nice angle to come off one cushion and go into the pack. I think he can miss the green. Great shot.
3.
A little unfortunate. You never quite go into the pack with the same pace when you're coming off 2 cushions. The fact he caught that loose red first meant they didn't open enough reds.
Ding Junhui, 3.
Ding played really well to win that PTC Grand Final. And, that was a nice one to win. There was £100,000 for the winner of that event. That wasn't a bad effort there. Yeah, that grand final in the PTC event, Ding beat Neil Robertson, and I'm sure he was something like 3-0 or 3-1 behind. But he's going to have to play a few good safety shots, because there's one thing about Alan McManus: he's not going to leave anything easy for Ding.
No, I agree. And he's going to have to be patient today, Ding. Alan's a very deliberate player, very clever in the safety department. And it'll be his game plan to try and upset Ding's rhythms, no doubt about that.
In fact, there's 2 reds now up the other end of the table. Is making for a little bit of a scrappy opener here. Not quite tight on the cushion with the cue ball, so he could get the white back behind the black if he raised the butt of the cue in the air, but he's just going to roll to the reds on this occasion. Or is he going up into the corner? No, just rolling into them.
Yeah, he didn't have the opportunity to do so there, but my advice to Ding is to get the reds open as soon as possible with his safeties in this match. Try and take away any advantage Alan might have in the safety department. You see Alan's quite happy to keep the reds tied up.
Yeah, they've only played on one occasion in the 2012 Australian Open, and Ding won all 5 frames, 5-0. Well, he's just looking to see if he can hit enough of that red to cut it into the middle pocket. But he's quickly forgot about that. Touching ball would help.
Touching ball.
And it is touching. So he can just play away from the red. Alan's got a cue action that probably he pauses at the back longer than most players. In fact, I remember going back at one stage, it was a terribly long pause that he used to have before he delivered the cue. Just a bit awkward, as I say, with the other reds up next to the brown there. I suppose Alan won't bother about that. Ding, as Stephen said, just have to be patient here. But you can't do much about it when the balls go like this. Well, he could pot that red in the middle pocket, but the white would just be going in to the middle of the red, so no value in it. I don't think. Might be able to take it up into the corner and have a free shot. He'd be on the black, so this is worth the risk here. That's close. That's very close. One. But looking where he put the cue ball, he wasn't 100% committed to that shot. Certainly not to the positional side of it.
Alan McManus 1.
He's now thinking to himself, I should have played on the black there. No problem coming off the right side of the table, just to land on the reds.
Touching ball.
Another touching ball. And there's another red gone up next to brown and two reds. Got a new game of snooker here, Stephen. The idea is to try and send all the 15 reds up the other end of the table. I used to hate this type of frame when the balls went like this.
Fantastic pot. He's going to be leaving a pot to the far left corner. This black does cut, but there's a thin one and he's going to be going into the reds. So it's risky.
Yeah, you called it. It was risky. The only consolation for Ding is the black's gone safe, as we show you that attempted cut back. If the black had stayed in the open, it would have been a very good chance for Alan. He's got the reds nicely spread, so it's going to have to be done with blues. Okay, the yellow and green's potable, but we could see a good few reds and blues here.
One.
That's the first time I've ever seen anyone with a little chalk pouch attached to their trousers instead of putting the chalk in the waistcoat. It's a new one here at the Crucible.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing you use in practice. So I'm going to change his name to Alan Pouch McManus.
7.
What a shot he's played there. Unbelievable. He could have done anything with that cue ball. He could even have played, well, just to catch the red. The cloths are so lively, aren't they, Stephen? It's quite easy to do that, but it made him look silly there, didn't it?
Yeah, just got more reaction on the cue ball than expected. Didn't play the cannon on the first red after he'd potted the object ball.
Green ball. Green ball.
Well, this will test his angles. He's coming off 2 cushions to try and land on the green and maybe get a snooker. That's why they call them angles.
7.
Well, I'd be absolutely gutted about the shot he played before to get on the colour, but he'd be delighted with that result. Not only knowledge of angles, but touch there. And I don't see how Ding can get this safe. Might be a hit and hope here.
Yeah, you need a red near a cushion to be able to try and land on off 1, 2 or even 3 cushions, but as you say, Stephen, there's nothing to land on. Even that red to the right of the brown and red, he'd have to be dead weight to land on that. And that's what he's mishit that completely.
Foul. And a miss. Alan McManus 4.
Alan will have it replaced because there's no pot on. There's a long pot, but you don't want to be risking that. He knows that Ding's got to be absolutely spot on with this escape. It's a similar shot to the one that Alan played, probably slightly more difficult.
Yeah, like that. It looked like on that shot he's trying to lie on the red that's beside the brown. If he hits a full ball, it should be pretty safe.
Foul. And a miss.
This will be a free ball.
Alan McManus 4. Free ball.
I don't see Alan taking the green on.
I think he can pot the red, you know, into the middle pocket. Looked as if he was tight on the brown, but it's a free ball, but he can see enough to pot the red. He can't hit it on the extreme left side as we look at it.
1.
So a second chance for the very likeable Scot.
Four. Five.
Great chance now to take the frame, but he's got to
10.
keep getting the correct side of the blue each time.
11. $16.
A little bit awkward to get onto the blue this time. He's got an angle here to try and develop the pink and black, but that's not what he was after. And that's got an element of risks to it. If he was to cannon the black, he'd have preferred to have stayed on the blue. He's 22 in front, so he could have won the frame just with blues. He might be able to find a path through. He hasn't, so it's a long blue he's faced with.
17.
And these are testers, especially when you've been away for so long from the Crucible Theatre.
Yeah, the one good thing though, he doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball. Just stun the white ball and leave the red to the left corner. It was well struck.
Yeah, you had a great shot down his cue there, and you've seen that pause. Have a look at the pause, and then through as straight as you possibly can with the delivery of the cue. That's the key. And he still does it. He used to lift a little bit as he delivered the cue, Alan, and he's come up a little bit short there, but he should be okay.
He's not hanging around, Dennis, when he's playing these shots. I know he's a more deliberate player probably than Ding, but
28.
his speed's quite good.
Just underhit that slightly, but there is a path between the yellow and that red that's next to the brown. He doesn't want to cannon into one of those, otherwise he could bring the break to a premature end here. That's nicely played.
Yeah, played that with a touch of right-hand side, check side as we call it. So the cue ball squared up when it hit the baulk cushion, came down in a straight line. Well controlled.
Yeah, he just finished awkward in that red to the right of the cue ball, having to take this one with the rest. A little bit straight on the blue again, but shouldn't be a problem. Just screw the white back to near enough where it is now, or just a few inches away from where the cue ball is at the moment. There you see, it's dead straight. .46 ahead, so just this red to take the opening frame. Very well played, Alan McManus. It's his first frame here since 2006. Just throws his chalk up. The reason for that was he didn't want to finish on the cushion with the cue ball, but he safely negotiated the blue. Well, this will certainly settle Alan McManus down, that's for sure. As I said, the only meeting they had, Ding won all 5 frames. So this is Alan's first frame against Ding Junhui. Doesn't matter about the pink, he played it with a lot of side. Ding stays in his seat. So the best possible start for Alan McManus. It looked as if it was going to be a long frame. In the end, it wasn't. And with the aid of that 47 break, he gets himself 1-0 in front. Well, that was a good start for Alan. There was a couple of little pointers there in that frame. One when he got in amongst the balls, and this was the one he was just trying to stun in between the 2 reds to leave the yellow. They're very lively cloths, these, and just put himself right out of position. But this is why we call him Angles McManus. Not only did he hit the green, have a look what he did with this.
Yeah, an impressive thing. He'd be so disappointed with his positional shot, but to get that out of his mind and be calm enough to say, right, I've played a bad shot. He played an excellent roll up behind the green.
As I say, it's great to see Alan back. He was a top 8 player for many, many years, and he certainly enjoyed that opening frame.
The second frame. Alan McManus to break.
He looks down at the floor, doesn't he, Dennis, before he plays every shot? It's like he wants to get himself lined up properly, make sure everything's in place, which is a good exercise to do, really, because it keeps you concentrating well.
And he was still at the table there almost until the white got back up onto the cushion, so he's purposely making himself try and stay down on the shot. He does lift a little bit, he always has done, Alan, just as he delivers the cue. He just comes up a little bit with his head. And in complete contrast, Ding, he doesn't move his head a fraction. Just watch how still he keeps on the shot. A little bit like my colleague, Stephen Hendry, who... How did you manage to keep that head so still for all those years, Stephen?
It wasn't working the last 2 or 3 years, I tell you that. Ding went for that long shot, thinking it was the only red he could leave, and he has done.
One.
Just has to roll the black in. He'll cannon those 2 reds, and there's plenty of reds available, so he doesn't really have to do too much with this. Little stun shot might keep the white there. Oh, he's missed it. That won't do his
Alan
confidence
McManus, 1.
a lot of good. That was a good chance there.
No, he can't afford too many of those unforced errors today if he's going to have any chance of beating Ding Junhui. I consider Ding Junhui to be one of the top 2 or 3 break builders in the game at the moment. In my view, never plays a wrong shot when he's in the balls.
9.
Yeah, I'm just looking, Stephen. He's made 51 century breaks this season alone. A lot of players don't make that many in their career. It's amazing that he's been a professional for 10 years. 6 ranking titles. Yet to win the Masters or the World. He used to have the 4 majors, we used to call them, the World Championship,
16.
UK Championship, the Masters and the Grand Prix. The Grand Prix is now the World Open, which is now played in China. A tournament that Mark Allen seems to like. He's won it on 2 occasions.
Just be stunning to have one cushion for the black into the same pocket, and he'll be looking to leave an angle in the black. He likes to open the reds up as soon as possible, does Ding. Well, he won't be going into him this time.
17.
He's landed a bit straight, but he's still got 2 open reds.
If he is dead straight, he might have to screw back off the cushion and take the white out towards the pink. And as I say, he's just off straight, but if he screws this back, you've got the perfect picture here. Watch the white, it'll come back off the cushion and head out towards that pink. That'll do nicely anywhere near the pink. Even if he had a run past it, it might have finished a little awkward. But I think he can just cue to the side of the cue ball here. just a fraction off being perfect there.
He's got an easy pink to the centre to get on the one remaining loose red, but he's got a lovely angle on the black here to go into the bunch of reds.
Yeah, it looks as if it's going to be pink, red. Nicely on the blue, possibly to go into the bunch. Well, he had an angle. It didn't look as if he had an angle there on the pink. So he could go straight into the reds. And now he's got them open nicely.
31. $32. Sure. 37. $38.
Such a simple, effective style, isn't he? Just gets down, cue, straight back, through in a positive straight line. Difficult to see how he ever misses a pot, really.
$45.
And it's great to hear Ding now being interviewed. His English is getting better by the week.
46.
And he can play a nice little cannon now here. Doesn't have to hit this too hard. A little bit of pace would help. If he just plays a nice little cannon onto that, he'll open everything up. Every chance now of
53.
making a century break here.
54.
We've had 7 centuries so far this year at the Crucible, and Ricky Walton
61.
still at the top of the leaderboard with a break of 140.
62. $68.
I'm sure when the draw was made, Alan knew he had picked one of the toughest. And if he didn't know in the first frame, he'll know now what he's up against. This guy scores so heavily when he gets in.
Yeah, well, you called it at the time when he missed the black that he should have knocked in. You said, Stephen, he can't afford to do that against a player like Ding. And that one mistake certainly has cost him this second frame.
84. $85.
He's made 294 centuries in his 10 years as a professional. He's good to watch when he's playing well.
90.
Yes, he's never looked like being out of position at any stage in this break. I know you're always chancing to a little bit of luck when you go into the reds, but it's been flawless.
Needs to pull up, might spoil the century. Needs to pull up a little bit, and it hasn't.
96.
I don't think he can see enough of this, so he's going to have to fluke it. Or maybe he can play it with a little bit of side. He's trying to just bend it slightly around the pink. I'm not sure. Oh, he's done it. Well played.
97.
Wow, that's a terrific century break from this very talented Chinese player.
104. 106. 109.
Well, I'll tell you what, there'll be a lot of people watching this back in China, and they'll be delighted to see their hero making that century break.
113. 118.
As Stephen Hendry said, this break has been flawless.
124.
What a superb response from Ding Junhui. He lost that opening frame, but didn't he bounce back? That was a magnificent break of 131, and we're all square. Well, I'll tell you what, Stephen, we want more of this. I mean, Alan looked pretty good in the opening frame, but as you said, he can't afford to make any mistakes, and he did make a mistake, and he sat and had to watch.
Yeah, he put a good first red, Alan, and this black was tricky, but it's still a very gettable shot. And as I say, that you can't afford to miss many blacks off a spot in this match and expect to win.
It was one of those shots, wasn't it, where you just take your eye off the pot, you're concentrating on the cannon, and that's what happened on that occasion. But he knows what he's up against. He's seen Ding play. He's been around the scene, has Alan. Okay, not on your television screen so much, but playing away in the qualifiers and PTC events. And I think those events have helped Alan, and it's great to see him back here. But he's up against one of the best in the business.
The third frame. Ding Junhui to break.
And I think one of the things that's improving all the time, especially the last couple of years, is Ding's temperament. I think in the beginning, when he was behind or perhaps not playing well, he let it get to him a little bit. And if you're going to last the pace here for 17 days, you have to have an excellent temperament and have real patience as well, because you're going to have sessions where you're not going to play well.
Yeah, very good point. As we show you what Alan's looking at, that's the player's view. Oh, he's got away with it. He just held his hand up there. Once he caught the blue, it looked like he might leave a pot, but caught the blue in such a way that he slipped on past the brown. So. Yeah, good point you made there, Stephen. Going back, we used to see pictures of Ding sitting in his seat when things weren't going well, and he used to look totally fed up, and he's quite a charming young man. It's amazing how still he keeps that head. Just watch this when he delivers the cue. It's looks easy to do. Might be thinking about trying to cut this in, but he'll play it with a touch of right-hand side so that he doesn't career into the reds and pink. He's just cueing to the right of the cue ball. That was the reason he missed the pot, was all the side he had on that. Now would Ding attempt. He doesn't refuse much. There's a red to the right corner. I don't know if he can get into the gap there to leave himself on the black, or whether he'll have to play around the table, but there is a gap there. And that gap there, if he stuns it, if he plays a plain ball, he's straight into the reds. Yeah, he got the gap, almost fluked the red, but he got the cue ball round the table as he intended. Wow, that red was bouncing all over the place there. This would be a great shot to pull off. He will finish on the black if he pots it. Hit it far too thick, and the double kiss has put Ding in here. I think this red passes the other as we show you that attempt. Well, maybe he hasn't left those reds that are near the black spot. No, that's too tight. Well, he's back looking at it again. If he was right behind it, he might be able to get it into half of the pocket. Looks as if he still wants to play it. Maybe there's enough room. Not a problem.
One.
That was a useful jaw of the pocket.
Playing this blue round the table. Take back down for the reds.
Six.
He was just playing into an area there to leave himself a choice of reds. If this one goes, he can just drop in behind the black. Doesn't have to do much with the cue ball here. No, he's put it onto that near jaw, and they don't go in. Okay, may have covered it, but Alan can come off the cushion and pot this. He may finish on the blue as we show you this attempt again. It's a blind pocket, you know, you don't see the pocket in your eye line, and they're sometimes difficult to pick out, but if he hits the cushion first, just watch the white. It'll go over towards the blue. It'll find the gap here. Oh, he hit it too thin.
One.
He was hoping to be nicely on the blue, so didn't judge that as he intended. That's never going to reach.
Foul and a miss. Alan McManus 1, Ding Junhui 4.
Well, Ding immediately looking at a long red.
Yeah, he doesn't want to put Allen back in case he gets the shot right the second time. And Snooker's on behind the green. I think Ding will take this on. Automatically on the black, should he pot it. And again, the only red he'll leave is the one he's playing, if he does miss it.
Well, he got a kick there. You could see the red clearly jump. It looked good. I thought he'd potted this. As the white's coming down the table, I thought he's caught this nicely. And have a look. Well, that'll do nicely.
One.
Well, I say it'll do nicely. It looks as if he's finished straight now on the brown, but there is a red that's towards the right corner pocket, but a little bit of angle, it would have been a good chance for Allen, but he looks to be absolutely dead straight or just slightly off straight. Just too much work to do if he was to pot the brown.
Alan McManus, one.
Only just reached it, but that's what he wanted because there's no escape off a side cushion for Ding. As we show you that nestle onto the green.
I could never play that shot with drag and bottom of the cue ball like that. I always prefer to play them top spin.
Well, he could just get to the side cushion. Shot to nothing here because if he pots this red, he's got the brown over the pocket. Just doing a bit of tidying up there. Get the Hoover out for him.
One.
Isn't it amazing what can be in your eye line? It's a nice blue carpet and he spotted a little thread or something on it that caught his eye. It's quite slippy, this carpet, though. There was a shot that Graham Dott played where he had to stretch and he took his shoe off so that he wouldn't slip. Oh, that's well played, but if he could pull this off, Stephen, he'll give himself a chance.
Yeah, that was a nice positional shot. And it's a matter of stunning over for the black into the same pocket here.
Yeah, if he can get somewhere near the line, he'd be on the black. It's just a delicate little shot.
Six.
Just overran it fractionally.
Well, I took a slight risk there. I know he's slightly unlucky if he's gone past the red, but he could have stunned up for this red to the left corner and would have taken that risk out of the equation. So it's a little bit careless.
Yeah, I think he wanted to make sure the black, didn't he? He missed the black in the previous frame and sat down while Ding cleared up with 131. But yeah, it was a little careless there.
Alan McManus, 13.
Ding will probably play the safety shot of 3 cushions in behind the green here. Didn't get enough side and bottom on the cue ball. That's why he's collided with the blue. So it's another chance for Alan. Again, we'll have to play this perhaps with a touch of right-hand side to avoid cannoning the reds.
One.
Yes, he got the side on and he got the pot this time, because it does make the pot at least, well, you'd have to say 4 or 5 times more difficult when you play with lots of side, because you have to judge the angle. It's just not like sighting on the normal position on the object ball. You've got to allow for that side.
Four. Five.
Well played. Got to take full advantage now this time in reply to that
12.
clearance from Ding.
Yeah, it's positions like this he has to win frames from to put any kind of pressure on Ding Junhui.
$20. 21. $28. 29.
I'll tell you what's surprising these days, Stephen. The number of the top players are back using one-piece cues. Alan has a one-piece cue there. Ronnie O'Sullivan, you used a one-piece. Ali Carter, I mean, all the rage was two-piece cues. In fact, I was the first player in the UK to use a two-piece cue in 1975, brought it back
32.
from Canada. And then the great John Spencer won the first world championship here at the Crucible with a two-piece cue. Had them just purely
33.
for travelling. They were much easier to travel with, but now you're not allowed to take them on the aircraft, so it doesn't really matter whether it's a two-piece or one-piece. And I shouldn't mention cues in aircraft. You're one that you won 7 world titles with.
40.
Smashed into 4 pieces, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did use a one-piece, but after that happened, I went to the two-piece, purely for convenience. I think a lot of the top 16 that are using one-pieces, they've always had them, and they're reluctant
41.
to change.
Quick look at the scoreboard. 46 in front. If he takes the blue, Ding can only tie. If he takes the green, he's got to get a cannon on one of the reds next to the pink. Green's a much easier pot, but the blue will also take him into those two reds. It's a slightly more difficult pot, but it's the right choice. Well, there is a phone ringing somewhere in the Crucible. I don't think it's in the audience. It's somewhere in the gods. A very intimate theatre, the Crucible. Just under 1,000 people, and there's it. Off and ringing again. I think it's for you, Stephen. How do they know you're here?
Off now, yeah?
Doesn't matter how many times they're told, someone always forgets. Well, he didn't risk playing the cannon onto the two
46.
reds, so Ding can still tie at the moment. Are you a little bit surprised he didn't play the cannon there, Stephen, or would you have made sure?
I think a lot of players would have played the cannon. I think Alan's, as we say, a very deliberate player. And he would know, obviously, the blue, putting him 51 ahead would be very difficult for Ding to win the frame. So I didn't want to, he'll not take many risks in this match.
McManus 46.
Has he left this red?
I'm just wondering the same thing myself, Stephen. Difficult to tell from that angle there. You'd need to be right in behind it, and no, can't just see enough of it. But for a moment there, it looked as if he might have. It's a tricky one for Ding, because if he just plays off the red, he can leave it on for the left corner. So he needs to get the cue ball down past the green and brown and tight on the cushion. Brown might just come to his rescue. So Alan not quite safe in this third frame.
And he wouldn't have wanted to play that red with it being safe in the cushion, but he was forced to. So this frame isn't over yet. 3 reds all near the black end of the table, so not difficult to get 3 reds, 3 blacks.
He's in behind the yellow here. Just a gap between blue and pink to see enough of the red to get back down the table. He wouldn't mind knocking the black safe here if he could. That's a pretty good shot. It would have been a bonus had the black have gone safe. Shouldn't be a problem. Just got to watch the middle pocket with the cue ball here if he plays it plain ball. A little bit aside, avoided the middle pocket.
1.
It was one of those situations, Stephen, if he pots the red and goes in off, he's still in a pretty good shape, so a foul wouldn't have cost him. But it's a good response from Alan McManus here. He made one mistake in the last frame and
4.
thing cleared up with 131. As we keep saying, you play
5.
the longer matches in little mini sessions, and 4 frames before the mid-session interval. Alan knows he's not going to be behind going into that interval. If he could go in 3-1 in front, I think he'd be well pleased with his start here.
12. $13. $20. 22. $25. $29.
A little exhibition shot from Angles McManus there, but he hasn't quite hit it hard
34.
enough. Yes, I think Alan is enjoying himself at the Crucible this morning. Just trying another little trick shot. Didn't quite pull it off, but
40 on the frame, Alan McManus.
good start from the Scot. Breaks a 46 and 40. Gets him into the lead at 2-1. Well, he's making Ding think about things here. Good match player, and he played one shot in that frame. It's a shot he had to play with a lot of right-hand side. This was the shot. Now, if you play this plain ball, you pop the red. That's the natural angle. You would cannon into the other red. Alan has played it with an extreme amount of right-hand side to avoid that. And we've got the white ball up there. Could do with just a little bit more to the right there. But he did avoid. We'll show you the shot here as he straightens the cue ball up. And he played it perfectly. And a nice little kiss on the blue to help things there, Stephen.
He's starting to look really comfortable out there, Dennis, isn't he? He was playing some lovely sort of exhibition positional shots at the end. He's cueing very nicely.
Well, he's got so much experience, and maybe he's just thinking about the glory days, and that's nice thoughts to have in your head when you're back here, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's 2-1 in front now. The last thing he would have wanted today coming into this match was Ding running away with it. You're getting confident, knocking big break. Obviously, Ding's made the clearance already, the total clearance in the second frame, but he wouldn't want to let Ding overrun him. But he's not doing it at the minute. He's playing very well.
Thank you, the fourth
McManus.
frame.
As you said,
Alan McManus to break.
breaking off here the last frame before the first interval of the day. And if you get a 3-1 lead, it give him great confidence for the last 5 frames. He hasn't hit this break anywhere near hard enough.
Well, he's left a long red for Ding. Now let's see if losing that last frame has just knocked Ding out of his stride. He's got an angle to stun this in and go around the back of the black.
Yeah, this won't be a shot to nothing. Be playing for the black here. Red to the right of the black has been left by Ding here. Doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball. Beyond the blue.
Just over the hour. And we're in frame 4 already, and Alan McManus is in the balls again.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Got a nice angle here. If he could get on the 2 reds at the back of the bunch, he could then get himself onto the black. Doesn't have to do that. Dropped nicely on those reds that I mentioned.
6. 7.
Just wondering if he'll go in the side of the bunch here. He's got plenty of loose reds, but he could really open the game up here. He doesn't want to go into the back of that bunch of reds, but if he stunned into it, he really would open things up. While he went into the back of them, he might just have won to the middle. Thought he'd have played more of a stun shot into the left side of the bunch there, Stephen.
14.
Yeah, I think he was expecting to be on the red that was a little bit away from the bunch below it, into the right corner. As I say, it would have been an easier risk, but it would have been the way you played. You said it, Dennis. Still got this red to the right centre.
And this time playing with side caused him to miss the pot. He was playing that with left-hand side to get the right angle on the blue. You can see him striking just to the left of that cue ball, and that's a bad mistake from Alan. Now, can he get on the black off this red? Shouldn't be a problem.
1.
I know we've talked about it many times, but there is a lot of pressure on Ding to
8.
try and lift this world title. So he's been UK champion, but everyone in China would love him to be the very first Chinese world snooker champion.
Yes, I agree, Dennis. I still spend a lot of time in China, and they adore their sporting heroes.
15.
And if Ding was to become world champion, he's already huge in China, but he would be absolutely idolised.
16.
Yeah, in fact, I remember last year you'd just come back the day before from China before you played in the World Championship, Stephen, and you thought you were going to be a little bit rusty, and you went out and knocked in a maximum break. And then you decided to retire. And you could say that was going out in style, making a maximum break at the Crucible and then retiring.
That's the first poor positional shot he's played. He can still pot this red to the left corner, but was hoping to be on the black after it. Now we'll have to go back up for the blue. And just creeped in with the near nickel.
22.
Oh, missed that for a minute.
If he had hit it any harder, it wouldn't have gone in. Let's have another look at this. It's just going towards the right side of the pocket there. And yeah, I, like you, thought he'd missed it. slightly further than he intended, having to bridge over
27.
the pink now. Which meant that the next shot was going to be more difficult. He's the wrong side of the blue, so he needs another good shot to get himself back into prime position. You could see the side there. The natural angle would have taken him into the yellow. Little touch of right-hand side, straightened the cue ball up.
33.
Yeah, clever shot that. Played for a choice of 2 reds to either corner pocket. If the pink goes, it'd just be stunning the white for the pink to the left corner.
That was a lapse in concentration.
33.
No pressure on that. Just closing one eye there as if to say, well, maybe I didn't quite sight it correctly. And Alan's a pretty good player at doubles, and he might take a double on here and get himself onto the black.
One.
He put everything into the double and forgot about the cue ball.
If he's going to roll up behind the black, these are quite tricky to judge. Especially hitting down in it like this. Yeah, you see he's overhit that.
-1.
Yeah, they're nasty little shots, aren't they? You're frightened that you don't reach the black, and you leave a free ball, put yourself in all sorts of trouble. I'm just wondering if you can see enough of this to screw back behind the black. I don't know if he can see enough of it to take the pot on. He might be able to, and that would be a bonus. He could see enough of it, and he has potted it.
1.
Well, Alan McManus will be kicking himself now.
Seven. Eight.
So just looking at the angle on the pinky, have to play for the red that's up to the right of the blue here. And the only problem when he pots the red, if he was to leave himself on the blue, the pink's in the way of the cannon into the 4 reds. So he may have to change his plan here. He's 32 in front. Now, what sort of angle has he got on the pink?
15.
Can he just roll the pink in, a little bit of top spin, bring the reds into play? Just about okay, I think. I don't think he'll slip past the reds. This is the key shot. This will get him all square if it works out. And it's not bad.
$21.
Very entertaining session, this. Alan McManus has played his part. He's had a 47 break in the opening frame. And then that last frame had 46 and 40 to take that third frame. And when you think Ding had a 131 break,
27.
just a quick glance at the scoreboard to make absolutely sure.
$28.
$51 ahead, as you can see, but a sitter of a red.
34. $41. 42.
Yeah, just one careless mistake from Alan, just playing the
47.
snooker in behind the black, and he hit it too hard.
49.
And, this was the result.
52.
He's taken them well, though, and his opening
56.
pot was a little beauty to start this break. You don't mind
61.
losing a frame, missing a pot, but when you play a shot like Alan did, it's a bit disappointing.
67.
A very
67
entertaining
frames in
4 frames of snooker, and Alan McManus, he'll be delighted with the way he's played. We go to the mid-session interval. It's all square, 2 apiece.
Well, we have seen some terrific snooker over the past few days, but this one is a really intriguing tussle. We managed to drag Stephen Hendry out of the commentary box for a little chat. Alan McManus using all that Crucible experience this morning, Steve.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with Alan. To say he's been away from the limelight for so long. He's looked very comfortable out there. I think winning the first frame was a huge boost for him. But the match has been at the highest standard so far.
I was having a chat with Alan McManus actually backstage just before we went out, and basically he was saying that he just feels very relaxed, and I suppose in many ways he's just thankful to be here after a long career.
Yeah, he's got nothing to lose. Nobody's expecting him to beat Ding today. So you've got to get an attitude of just going out there and trying to enjoy it. It's difficult because the competitive instinct wants yourself, you still want to win. But if you can just go out there and relax and just think, I've got nothing to lose.
And what about Ding? I think you said in commentary he's a joy to watch. He made that break of 131. Do you get the feeling that this year could be his year, Steve?
I've got a sneaky suspicion for Ding this year. I think he's been one to watch. I think his temperament's impressed me the last 3 or 4 years. I think he's getting closer and closer to what's required to win the World Championship. His talent's not in doubt. He's probably one of the best, if not the best, in the balls in the game at the moment.
There's no one better when he gets into his rhythm, is there?
I think you've got the likes of Ding, Higgins, O'Sullivan, those 3 in the balls. They play exactly the same shot I would play. I'm not blowing my own trumpet here, but I think they play the right shots, and I think they look very impressive.
OK, Stephen, thank you very much indeed for now. Over on table 1, it's Marco Fu taking on Matthew Stevens, the Welshman, twice a beaten finalist here at the Crucible.
Looking back sort of 10, 15 years, I would have predicted that Matthew Stevens would have been a multiple ranking tournament winner with his talent, but hasn't happened, has it?
No, and obviously within the game, a lot of people would have thought that he's wasted his talent. Seems to, from the outside anyway. I've gone off the rails a few times, leaves on the track, whatever. But amazingly, and to his credit, still a top 16 player or knocking on the doors, whichever way it comes during the
Parallels
season.
with Stephen Lee in respect to when they first came on the scene. Everyone predicted great things. Perhaps the two of them maybe enjoyed their life a little bit more than they should have done. They've dragged themselves back into the top 16 and where they belong.
Yeah, and I think you'd have to say the reason for Matthew Stevens is huge talent, huge talent. I mean, and also, regardless of how you must have felt confidence-wise, form-wise, hadn't changed his game at all. Still plays exactly the same, attacking, brave snooker. He's never going to shirk his responsibilities on the table.
Yeah. Tremendous cue action.
Yeah, great cue. And when he gets amongst the balls, he's likely to clear them up. And he's giving himself a chance to win matches by doing that.
And I think the fact he's more active, playing tournaments all the time, is helping him a lot. There's no chance of being bored at home for 2, 3, 4 weeks on end with nothing to look forward to. He's playing every other week, and I think that's important for Matthew to be active on the table.
Obviously UK champion and failed at the final hurdle in the World Championship, but difficult to say for sure if he'd ever get back to those levels, but certainly ranking events.
Yeah, on his day, you know, a match for anybody. His game is. Well, he's got every shot in the book, hasn't he? As you say, he's failed at the final hurdle a couple of times, but he has been UK champion, so he knows what it takes to win big tournaments. Remains to be seen if he can push on. He's got himself back in the 16, almost in the top 8. Can he push on and win tournaments again?
Well, these two have played 11 times at various venues. It's 6-5 to Stevens in the head-to-head. The last time they played was at the German Masters this year, Fu winning that one in the quarter-finals. We join the action in the first frame. Fu to play, and he's trailing. Watching this one, John Virgo and John Parrott.
Well, you saw it beautifully, nicely controlled and on the pink.
Yes, you'll see 1 or 2 players on the circuit who don't really have much of a waggle with their cue. They sort of poke the cue at the ball and leave it there. Marco Fu is one of them. James Watani used to be very similar to that. Hardly any movement till he decides to play the shot.
8.
All individual cue actions, like snowflakes. No one's got the same one, but this is unusual.
Well, he played a poor positional shot. He shouldn't have been kissing the blue, but in all honesty, I was amazed he was that far away with it.
Seen a difference already in the cue action here. Watch Matthew Stevens with his approach to the cue ball. A bit more movement there before he comes back to hit it. Two great players, just different way of going about it.
7. Eight.
Yeah, just referring to that cue action, I think you'd certainly think that Matthew Stevens had more power in his cue action because of the length, you know, the way he brings it back and prepares for the shot. Whereas Marco is very good
14.
like this in amongst the balls, but oh well.
Matthew Stevens.
Shaky start this from both players.
Well,
Crucible nerves.
Once again, JV, I think he's moaning about the balls here, saying he's had a kick. Didn't see it myself, but he wasn't happy. But shaky's the word, isn't it?
What?
It's like a charity handicap at the minute.
Yeah, as I've said a couple of times, since we've been at the tournament. I went to watch a couple of qualifiers. I went to watch Jimmy White playing a few qualifiers at the Institute of Sport in Sheffield. Boy, the pressure some of these players are under just to get to the Crucible.
7.
And of course, it's shown up with some of the results. We've lost Mark Williams, we've lost John Higgins, Mark Allen. So no one's position is safe here. Seems to be probably more pressure at the Crucible than I've ever known. Maybe because it's so open.
Yes, and there's always more attached to this first round stigma, isn't there? Everyone's putting so much importance on it.
15.
Like to get involved in the tournament, get your first match over with, but it's not that easy now. Too many good
16.
players.
Yep, no easy matches. Those days are gone.
Yes, going back to your point about the power in the cue action, this is where I think Marco's at his best, when he's close in and amongst
23.
the balls, top end of the table. Although he won't be totally enamoured by that, snookering himself, or hampering himself on the blue, I should say.
$24.
Yes, nicely played, just cued through that smoothly. Take those as soft as you can, so you don't bounce the cue ball.
Eight points to lead.
30.
3 reds. 3 colours would be more than enough.
$31.
It's gone a little bit awkward there.
38. $39.
He's making hard work of this. When I said he needed the 3 reds, 3 colours, the reds were nicely placed, but he played one poor positional shot. It's not straightforward anymore.
Certainly not. These are tricky, these pinks into a blind pocket, and it does look like the only way he can get on the red. That red is just too far off the cushion to be playing cannons with it, so it looks like he's going to refuse everything. Yep, not happy.
Brown. Marco Fu. 39.
Well, good 39, but he'd be disappointed he didn't win the frame with that visit.
He's left this. Trying to push it past the middle pocket, but short. And now Marco Fu with a chance to finally clinch this frame. He's missed one good chance, and he'll make the most of this one.
One.
just about on this pink, and it's not too bad because he's got a nice angling pot in it to go up for the yellow, and he's going to need the pink and the yellow. I was going to say that's a bit pacey, but I think he's been helped there by the brown. You see it, 24 ahead, 27 remaining. Pot the yellow, go 26 ahead with just 25 remaining. Well, used all the pocket, but in it went. All frames count at the end of the day, but both players won't be too happy with the way they played this frame, although Marco Fu will put it behind him. Matthew Stevens had a good chance, Mr. a straightforward red, and that's enough to win the first frame. So the number 17 seed, Marco Fu, wins the first frame against Matthew Stevens, 1-0.
Well, you can see Matthew Stevens not looking very happy there after the first frame. He'll be even unhappier now. 3-1, Marco Fu leads the Welshman. So Matthew Stevens right up against it in that one. So we'll go back to Ding Junhui versus Alan McManus in a few minutes. In fact, Ding has just been here on the practice tables. And one thing that struck me when I was watching Ding practicing there is, you know, very often, Stephen, we talk about snooker and how big it's going to be in China. Why aren't we seeing more Chinese players around at the Crucible this week?
Well, I mean, there's lots of Chinese professionals playing. Ding is by far the best. We've not seen anyone close to his standard yet. There's a lot of people playing snooker in China, but the actual game that the man in the street plays is a thing called Chinese 8-ball pool, because they think snooker is very difficult. They love watching it on TV, they love watching the stars and stuff, but as yet, perhaps there's you know, they're lacking the talent to come through and go to the very top. But it's only a matter of time. There's so many people there.
So do you think at the moment then it's more of a spectacle as opposed to, you know, working out the finer techniques of the sport?
A little bit, yeah. I think they admire the sort of the foreign stars. They obviously they idolise Ding. So it's strange that we haven't had, considering we've got 5 ranking tournaments there now. It's strange that we haven't had someone as good as Ding yet. But I think it'll come.
Okay, he is one of China's best loved sportsmen. Let's take a look at his record this season. Very important in this part of this match right now, Stephen, that Ding imposes himself on this match.
Very much so. When you're the top seed, you want to really stamp your authority on it, keep the pressure on your, I was going to say lesser experienced opponent. Obviously, Alan's been here before, but it's very important to go into the second session with a lead.
And as for Alan McManus, what does he have to do in this session?
Just not let Ding run away from him. You know, it's 5 more frames. I think if Alan wins 2 of them, if he offered him 5-4 down going into the second session, I think he'd be delighted.
And he's got so much experience, hasn't he? How much does that count for in this environment?
Well, it'll give him the patience. He'll know that it's a long match. He's been here many, many times. So he'll know not to panic if, say, if Ding wins the next 2 frames. He'll know there's a long, long way to go. But then he hasn't been in the bear pit, as it were, for a long time. So if Ding does open him maybe a 2-frame lead, I can see Ding running away with it a bit.
OK, Stephen, we'll let you go back to the commentary box. Thank you very much indeed for joining us here at the practice room. Very interesting chat this, Dennis. Stephen reckons that Ding could be there on the finals weekend. What do you think?
Absolutely, and wouldn't that be great for the game of snooker? I think Alan McManus might have other ideas, but yet to have a Chinese world champion would be something very special. Well, the balls are all over the table now. Good cue ball. But just look at those reds. And this red that he's looking at near the left corner pocket is, if the white was away from the cushion, there wouldn't be a problem. And if he takes that on, I don't think he'll cannon the other red that's near the pocket. But the white will head over towards the reds and pink. Well, at first glance, that may not be too bad. There's only one possible pot that he's left. So he's got away with that somewhat. He could quite easily have double-kissed the red and left it on and have another look. To play it at that pace when you're tight on the cushion is so difficult.
You're trusting how level the table is as well, aren't you? Virtually the full distance with the table to play at that speed. Ding was in the practice table all through the interval and hardly missed a ball. Looks to be striking it superbly well. Alan obviously prefers just to go to the dressing room, have a cup of tea, relax.
And you mentioned, Stephen, you go out to China quite a bit still. It's amazing there, the schools, they can play snooker in a lot of the schools in China. And talking about schools, I had the great pleasure last weekend going back to the Primate Dixon Primary School. It's their centenary, and I was the guest of honour and went round the school, met all the kids, and believe it or not, they played snooker loopy. And the headmaster there, Sean Dillon, and his two vice principals, Siobhan Murphy and Martin Daly, looked after me so well, and it was great to be back. The old school's knocked down now, but the new school is something very, very special. I think it's something we could maybe think about over here, getting snooker into the schools.
Yeah, I wish they had snooker at school in my day. It would have saved me from skipping it.
I don't believe that for 1 minute.
Okay, I was only joking.
It's amazing, just a couple of moments ago, all the reds were out in the open. Now they're sort of covering each other somewhat as we show you that nice little pot into the middle pocket with not a very favourable kiss on the yellow, it has to be said. Might try and get the white in behind the yellow here. Just using the green to do that.
McManus 1.
It was one of those situations. It didn't really matter whether he got the snooker or not. He tried to get the snooker, but it's still a good shot. And if there's no path back down the table, Ding will have to try and pot that tricky red that's near the pocket there. He's looked at that, he doesn't like it. And this is going to have to be very precise to get back down the table. He's played it well. Excellent shot. Acknowledged by Alan McManus there.
Yeah, wouldn't play many better safety shots than that today. That was excellent. To be tight under the baulk cushion and to get the cue ball back to the baulk cushion. It's great skill.
He won't play that shot there because he'd leave a red to the middle. That's the natural escape, but he's frightened of leaving a pot on, so that's why he's refusing that. And he was hoping to get the cue ball tight on this cushion, and he misjudged that one badly.
I think he got heavy contact. Big sigh from Alan. And the cue ball made contact with the object ball. Yeah, just killed the pace. Now you can see the reaction.
One.
Oh, that's a nice little nudge. He just held his hand up there. He would have been on the green. Now, how costly is that heavy contact going to be here? The frame before the mid-session interval, Alan just played to roll up to the black, hit it a bit too hard, and it cost him the frame. I wonder, is that kick going to cost him here?
7.
He'd like to play for the red, right next to the pink here, to clear the pink spot. Like to play for that red into the right corner.
Twelve. $13.
You could see Ding striking at the top of the cue ball there, just to give himself a little bit of top spin. He's hitting the ball at roughly, well, if you use the cue ball as a clock face, he's striking it at 12 o'clock just to create the top spin. You want to screw back, you hit it at 6 o'clock.
$20. White.
Yeah, the top spin I mentioned there, we can just show you what happens. You strike the ball just above center there and watch it, stops and just follows through. You can see the black and white ball spinning.
$26. $27.
Obviously, when the black's out of commission, it's actually a bit easier to break bill from the pink, because obviously you've got 4 pockets to play for rather than just the 2 with the black ball. So your positional play is very comfortable. I'd be very surprised if Ding didn't win the frame at this visit. Just a series of stuns
33.
and screws and little follow-throughs. Reds are covering each other, so they have to go to each corner pocket. It's almost like a practice
34.
routine, this break.
Yes, it all looks so easy, but there's an awful lot of years of hard practice go into perfecting all those little stun and screw shots that Stephen mentioned. And as he pots this, it's clearing the path
40.
for another red. He's just making sure that the red to the left of the 2 is available into the left corner. He'll be clearing the path for that when he pots this one.
$41.
I'm looking
Make
at
sure
the
all the phones
stance
are turned
there.
off, please.
As Paul Collier just tells the crowd to make sure the phones are off, but just looking at his stance there, it's a bit like the old traditional stance. The great Joe Davis, who was 20 times world champion, stood a little bit like this, one foot slightly ahead of the other. Some of the modern day players are a bit square on.
47.
Yeah, anybody that's just tuned in to the snooker this morning, will see Ding wearing the black armband. That was because of the earthquake in China. There was no music played for the Chinese players as they come into the arena as a mark of respect.
$48.
Getting a little bit more difficult now as he approaches the winning line in this 5th frame.
Yeah, it looks to have finished slightly straight in this pink. I can't see any obvious red that goes to the right corner, so I may have to play a cannon off the side cushion. The 2 reds are closest to the left corner pocket. The red that's furthest away from the pocket. May have to play a cannon on that one if you can force the angle, but it's very straight.
Yeah, with these very lively cloths, Stephen, you can create an angle. It was very difficult to do that with the old thicker cloths. Let's see if he can do that. Almost straight. Just watch the cue ball. See the angle he created, and well, he tried that shot that you mentioned and almost pulled it off. Has he nudged the other red and left a gap?
54.
He just played to flick that red away, but now that he's cannoned that one, he might be able to pot the one to the right of the black. Well, he'll have to play it with a touch aside, but he'll be on the pink. He can make the angle. See a little swerve shot.
55.
Yeah, and because he had to play a little swerve, he couldn't put as much power on the cue ball as he would like to get ideal position on the pink. So he may have to go around the table here if he wants to get on a red.
Oh, he's in the pocket, is he? No. Wanted to hit the cushion to the left 61. Of the pocket rather than the right of that corner pocket. So he's 60 in front. There's still a possible 67 on the table, so he would have liked to have won the frame at this visit, but he's going to have to wait for another chance. Well, he's just looking to see, I wonder, shall I maybe try the plant? I only need the one red. Be a bit risky, that one, Ding. And he looked at it and he's quickly forgotten about it. Although he's maybe back looking at it again. Can't see enough of the one that's nearest the pocket to cut it in, so he can swing this around the angles. Doesn't want to bring the black into play too much. The black's close to the middle pocket.
Ding Junhui, 61.
Very good effort, though. And the standard continues in this first round encounter. But Allen far from out of this frame, but certainly with the black over the middle pocket. That's a clever shot there. Purposely played to hit the red full ball so that it would double kiss the red and take the white back up the table. It's a shot you don't see played very often.
Chance of a red going near the left corner here. Maybe a plant on. And he played the contact thinner than I expected. And he's played a good safety.
Just watch this clever shot from Angles McManus here. I mean, he couldn't hit it thin, or he could, but it was risky, and he double kissed it, and it's a shot you don't see played that often. But very clever.
Yeah, you can only play that when the red's actually touching the cushions, can't you, Dennis?
He's done it again. But this time it hasn't worked. He's got the white down, but you never know what's going to happen to reds, and well, that's cost him the frame, that one. He hit it too hard that time, I feel.
Yeah, he was coming across that one more, wasn't he, the second time? There's more of an angle. I think that's why it made it more difficult. It was much more of a straighter, fuller on contact the first time he played the shot.
Six. Seven. Ten. 11.
It's been pretty fluent stuff. Hasn't been a lot of tactical play, but it's very entertaining.
17. 18. 24.
Dennis is right. Absolutely entertaining morning
25.
from Ding Junhui and Alan McManus. And that's it from us here on BBC Two. If you want to continue watching, it's available online and, of course, on the red button. Hazel is back at 1 o'clock, live coverage of Judd Trump against Dominic Dale. That's at 2:30. Bye for now.